Hello and welcome to an actual audio recorded episode of
Let's
Atlanteon
hope.
Prologue. We are here with Villicent, the half elf sorcerer, played by Tess, Yadwiga, gnome assassin, played by Bree, and Green, the warforged cleric, played by Sean. Would you like to each take a moment to introduce your characters, please?
My name's Tess. I play Villicent Bojano Markel. She is a mechanically half elf uh, sorcerer with 2 levels of wizard. And she's 15 years old.
I am Bree. I play a rogue assassin. Her name is Yadwiga, and follow along on our wonderful babysitting adventure of Billy.
Oh, that's such a different movie than what we're having now. Adventures in Babysitting Billy. That's what we should call the campaign. Why am I crying so much in this family-friendly movie?
Go ahead, Sean.
My name is Sean. I play Green, the reborn Warforged cleric. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say, really.
Can you describe him, please?
Um,
Or it or her?
Them.
you look you look at it. It looks like a Warforged that's been through hell and back, torn to pieces, missing an arm. There's this sort of green mist that pours out of the wounds, and somehow that mist has formed an arm to replace the one that's been lost in battle. The Warforged that he was is gone, and now there's something else riding around inside.
And the location
Okay.
of our three heroes is in the Chronomancer's inside the Chronomancer's palace in the Yuan-Ti city of Asala on the on in the world of Atlanteon. We've the white character, white Lego mini is represents green. The red and blue haired Mini represents Yadviga, and the black haired Mini here represents Villy. They have currently been they've currently been making their way through a sort of ethereal blackness with a that has somehow a shimmer of energy far off in the distance, but tumbling through this nothingness is a series of what appear to be small chunks of discrete places that are floating in in this netherworld, and they've been making their way, from jumping from small island to small island of reality, working their way up in a spiral that happens in ascending fifths, eventually working its way to some sort of core center up above.
And just a reminder so none of us forget, Green, you got one more advantage on athletics from me. I have Death Ward, and I currently have 4 runes. 4 rune
Yay.
charges. I'm getting better at taking notes.
Great. It's good to keep track of these things.
Yeah.
So where we are, um, you, the three of you have all just come back together onto a onto this crystalline pillar that all of you are clinging to the edge of. Uh, the as you as you're all up against it, each of you make an insight check, please. I'll be right back. I
Oh,
gotta
that's a
grab
9.
something.
Oh no, I don't have my right. That's not my dice.
23.
Nice.
Some way to do that. Yeah, wall is up. Alrighty. So insight checks.
That's not bad. Billy, dice.
Yadwiga rolled a 9.
I thought I had
You
them.
could also use Arcana or Religion or any sort of knowledge based thing.
Ooh, Billy's got
Green
good art.
Green scored a 23 on the insight check.
Excellent.
I got
Oh,
a 18 Arcana.
Okay.
I am gonna boost it up with my investigation. Would
Okay.
that be okay?
That's
Okay.
fine.
But it's only a 10. But I'm trying.
So you said it was a 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the 23, green, you notice a pattern of intricately carved flutes and spirals that seem to be almost inclusions inside the crystalline glass. As you as you're looking at it, you can feel an energy thrumming and uh, and encased inside the glass. It's as if it's a large battery of some kind, and it almost it all your the energy that is at your core seems to almost be at a different harmonic from the it's at a different harmonic from that energy, but it is a similar type of energy. Uh, Villy, with an 18, you see the inclusions, and it's almost as if it appears to you as if the crystal was almost 3D printed with these shapes inside it. And Yadviga, with a 10, you realize that the that this crystalline plinth that you're standing next to looks very similar to the ones in your hometown.
I'm sorry, you cut off that last part for me. It looks very similar to what?
Very similar to other crystalline structures that have been built in your hometown.
Is it similar to the bridge that we jumped off of earlier?
It's similar, but it's a different form of that technology. Like the bridge that you were on earlier was
Mhm.
made by a different culture, but essentially did kind of the same
Can I roll again for investigation to see if I can remember where this was from?
thing. No, you already had an investigation roll, so
Okay.
but we'll give you another chance later if there
Okay.
are other things or we come back to this later.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna quickly untie the rope, not quickly, very carefully,
okay,
untie the rope from the crystal pillar so that I get it as we continue on.
excellent. Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to go for a flight again.
No, definitely not.
So you have a couple of different options from this crystalline pillar. There is a small there's a small black uh, shiny black stone plinth over here that has three glowing buttons on top of it, two blue or two purple and one clear. There is a tiny piece of a glowing lever on top of a shining white alabaster sort of crystalline top. There is
I miss my dog, Alabaster.
there is also a little bit farther away. There is also a a bit of desert over here, and you see a large bent cactus reaching its arms up. Overlay. This was the area that looked like several had been kind of like jumbled and pushed over against something. Where there's a large chunk of the black swamp that you saw earlier that's kind of like hovering over the top of the desert. Um, right next to it is kind of like a mountain chalet, and then that is also that all has a couple of other plants onto it. Above that, around the spiral, you also see a couple of other pieces of platforms that are places that you could probably reach and climb up onto the spiral from this area. There is also, of course, this whole object that you can very easily reach right from where you are.
What's the gravity on it?
That's a good question.
I want to grab my rope and I'm going to swing it onto that platform, the black platform that's right next to us, and see if it lands directly on it or falls forward.
Okay. You toss it over there and you feel a tug as the gravity is pulling it in that direction.
Cool. So I think I'm gonna hand the rope to Green one, and I'm gonna tell him, hold on to this side of the rope. I'm gonna jump onto that platform. Think I could land on my feet, hopefully. And then I'm gonna jump over to that platform.
Wrap the rope around my forearm a couple times, make sure I've got a good grip on it.
Yadwiga, make an acrobatics check, please.
$13 is what I rolled.
With a 13, you're able to pretty easily jump over, and you land sideways in a little crouch in this direction. So you land in a little crouch, and you look what appears to be up, and you see green sideways. You see green sideways looking up at you, holding the rope. As your feet land, you hear. Can you hear the chime? Damn. Oh, I thought I'd fixed it. Let me see if I can turn the noise suppression off. I thought I had it. Alrighty, let's see if this works.
I did hear that.
You did hear that? So just for reference, the tones that the tone that Green heard repeatedly throughout his long existence here was this one. When you pulled that lever, you heard the following. And the one you just heard was.
Wish that meant anything to me.
So I didn't hear it, but can I assume that it was a really low, like a much lower chime?
Much higher.
It was much higher. So it was.
Okay, much higher.
Can I?
Got
Okay.
it.
So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we defeated a giant that had a piccolo of sorts that I took once we shrunk it. Can I pull out my piccolo and try to replicate the tone of each one?
Sure. Make a performance check.
Okay.
Is there a performance on this one? That's a
There is.
3.5 thing, isn't it?
No, performance is here.
Performance is 5. Oh no. Well, I've always said Billy has no creative bone in her body, but I do have +5 charisma. That's an 8.
Oh,
So you're able
I
to
think I got it.
you're able to toot a couple of notes. So it's like.
That sounds correct, right?
Was that it?
Green just kind of looks over at you and slowly.
Okay. I guess I can't be good at everything. Billy's way too hurt. by
Everyone
that.
can make a perception or an insight check after Villy plays the piccolo.
13 for Yadwiga.
15 for green.
That is gonna be a 14. Wait.
Yeah, none of you are impressed by Villy's
Less than
performance.
that. And with a 12.
Yeah, none of you are impressed by Villy's performance. So Yadwiga is currently 90 degrees away from you, standing on a different center of gravity. And both Green and Villy are still up next to the crystal column.
So I'm gonna look up and say, well, at least we can jump on this safely,
Should we
but
follow?
don't miss.
Encouraging. Billy
Where
pulls
would
out
we
her
go
notebook
from
and
there?
calculates the trajectory a little bit.
Where would we go from there? Is that the optimal route?
This is the platform with the shiny buttons, right?
No.
No. The shiny buttons are right there on this little plinth, which is about 12 feet, a 12-foot jump.
So I honestly don't know. I don't know what's up, what's down, what's side to side.
Each concept is here mutable here.
You do notice that these other bits that are on the spiral, they also appear to be also small chunks of reality, not discrete things. Yadwiga, the surface that you're standing on almost looks like a drawbridge of some kind. You see here in the middle what appears to be a large hinge.
Is this a removable pin?
It's not a removable pin, but it's definitely a hinge.
I'm gonna look up at them and say, is there another route you wish to take? I particularly do not see. Or say
You're breaking up a bit.
You think we can't get there safely? Yeah, it seems like this other way is better.
I wonder if the buttons or the lever would have any effect.
Well, damaging that hinge, though it could put you in a precarious position since we don't know where it's going to knock to, if at all.
So it is possible to walk down across this as well. This is the distance between these two is about 12 feet as well. And you notice that there are that looking up the spiral. This is kind of the best way. It's at least in line to get up to the rest of the upper area.
Oh, God.
Why didn't I stalk Bly?
Trying to give you a wider view so that you can see.
What if I did stock fly and we just flew through this entire thing without experiencing Miguel's creation?
There are certain game-breaking things that happen in every campaign.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and walk across the bridge.
Okay. It's easy to walk across. There seems to be some sort of micro texture that gives you really good traction, and you are able to walk all the way across to. Let's see if I can put you over here without breaking anything. You're able to walk all the way across to the edge, where it seems to. I'll zoom in a bit. Where it seems to where it just seems to end, and you're so it's a curved bridge. It's a curved bridge with a hinge in the middle, and you get to the other end, and you see more of the coruscating darkness off in the distance past it.
Is there
Can I
anywhere to go from there?
Can I tell the trajectory of if that hinge was activated? If can I tell if it like swing if the drawbridge would swing down because I assume gravity's gonna pull it down.
It would swing up this way.
Closer to the crystal pillar.
So it would start here and it would swing up like that. I guess you can't see that with me. So it'd start down there and it would swing up like that.
Oh, I see. Okay. So I'm gonna relay this message to everyone else and say maybe we could use that to our advantage. Of once everyone's on this bridge, of course, I wouldn't leave you guys down there.
It is possible one of the buttons or the lever may activate the drawbridge.
That would make sense. And just to remind me, the lever and the buttons are connected to that section, right? And not like in another section, or not?
No, they're not.
I don't see any connection.
Nope. There's a lever floating all by itself, which is this little triangle right here. Let me see if I can focus it.
I mean, there's definitely a chance, but it does seem like every chunk of debris that we're facing here comes from a different piece of time and space.
I say push the button.
I say push the button too. I'm just trying to provide a logical way to talk myself out of it.
You have to get to it first.
I'm thinking, Yadwiga, may I make use of your rope?
Sure, why not? Just don't lose my rope.
Don't lose her rope.
No.
I'll let go of it.
Okay. So take the rope, fashion one end of it into like a lasso, and I want to see if I can hook that lever with the lasso.
What sort of check is this going to be? Let's do a dexterity based grapple check. So
how do I do that?
So you'll roll it like an attack. So roll a d20, add your dex and your proficiency modifier.
Okay.
Because you're probably trained in, rescue. So
Actually, well, here's the thing, Meg. I'm not. My body is a warforged. I'm not a warforged.
yeah, but the
There's no training.
right, but the warforge, if it was from the concept that you gave me as a rescue bot, would have attachments and stuff that are part of it?
No,
No. Okay.
no, Warforged don't look like that. No.
Okay. Um,
So I rolled a 19.
that's good enough to lasso it. So you
Okay.
lasso it and you pull and the switch the switch slips towards you, and you hear it go click 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 click. Click. You all hear and the two bridges above with a grinding noise. Oh,
Ah, excellent. We are stranded.
with a grinding noise, the two bridges arch toward each other.
We are stranded, but we learned something.
You guys heard the four tones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did.
So it was.
Well, I say this works quite in my favor indeed.
But not in ours.
Perhaps if we
Custom.
were perhaps if we were to jump from the top of the column.
Can I do some sort of intelligence check to figure out what the gravity would be doing if we were, like, for instance, from where I'm standing at right now, I want to do some sort of intelligence check with my little notebook out to figure out where we'd be going if we just jumped right towards that thing, having seen Yadwiga. Like, we just jump right towards that little corner in the bridge, like creating that V.
Roll an Arcana check.
Cool. Fuck me. I can't find my Villy dice, and this is what I have. I don't trust these dice. They don't know Villy.
They don't like you either, apparently.
15.
A 15.
Well,
huh?
they don't know Villy. They're meant for other characters.
You're able to from the calculations you're able to make. It appears that the moment that it's either the moment that you touch something, the gravity changes, or the moment you get into you break you've broken the plane of yours and have entered the plane of another, that the
Yes.
gravity changes.
And
But you're
what
not
I'm
you're not
wondering-
sure which.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, okay. If I'm not sure which, then I'm not going to.
So
I'm thinking
either your trajectory would continue this way until you actually touch something if you missed it, or the second you get up above it, it would start pulling you toward it.
Can I throw a silver at the bridge?
Sure.
All right.
Roll a
Dexterity.
throw check. So it'd be just dexterity bonus.
Okay, that's better. So I do have proficiency in slings. It's up to you whether you want me to add my proficiency to this, but
Are you
without
going to
proficiency.
Are you going to use your sling to hurl it, or are you just going
No,
to?
I might as well.
Okay, so you load a silver piece into your sling. Mark off 1 silver, please, and
Okay.
and roll your sling attack.
All right. So
Are you trying to
15
hit
on the-
anything in particular?
I'm trying to hit the bridge because I want to analyze whether the like I want to imagine the plinth is here. I want to analyze whether the silver is going to go like blip and then like up and then it, or if it's going to touch it first. Like I want to analyze the change in the rate of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if the trajectory changes or the gravity changes before it hits the bridge.
Okay, so
And
roll it. Roll
I
to hit,
for the
and then
dexterity that will be that's a 21.
the 21. You hit it precisely on, and roll roll an arc. Should this be an Arcana check or an Insight check?
I think it
This should be an
Arcana
insight.
check.
It should be an insight check because you're processing information rather than.
All right, that's a 14.
You are able to discern that the silver piece went straight, and your shot was straight toward it, and the trajectory did not change. But you also realize that no, you don't. With the 14, you don't realize that. Never mind.
Okay. Okay, so as far as Villy, I don't know what I turned into in that minute or in that moment. It does seem like, well, I didn't see a shift in my coin. I could be wrong. I didn't see a shift in my coin though, so it does seem like the gravity doesn't change until we actually touch the object that exists within the space.
I think if we climb this column, we will be physically close enough that it will not matter.
Yep.
Oh,
It's
the
about
column with the orange thing on top?
yeah. Because
Okay.
you're currently right there. So if you're standing on top of that, you'll basically be able to reach over and climb right on.
Definitely, though. I don't know. All this wibbly wobbly gravity makes me nervous for sure, but fascinating.
Could I make a check to see if Yadwiga was standing right at that section? Could I just hold out my hand as well as they're climbing up to bring them to me?
You could certainly reach them. Yes.
Okay, so Yadwiga wants to go right to that section, right where I can reach them, but I want to stand where I'm not in their way as well. And then
Okay.
I'll have Green toss me the rope.
So Yadwiga.
Yeah, but
Oh, let me focus. Maybe I should take this off manual focus, but it always finds such weird things to focus on. So Yadwiga walks forward. Over near the column, and you're not blocking. You could from there you can pretty easily reach your hand over and link hands with the others and help them over.
I want to tie the rope around myself and then tie the other end to the bridge, like around the bridge, because I see that it's narrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
assume that I can reach both arms around and tie, or at least swing it underneath so I can grab it and then tie it on top where I'm at.
Yes, you're. It's pretty easy for you to do that. You just take the rope and
That's tight.
you wing it underneath, and it comes back up, and you grab it, and you do that a couple times, and tie a nice stout knot.
I'm gonna look down and say, "Okay, I'm ready for you. If you need a hand," and then I'm gonna take my hand out if
Okay.
they need it.
Villy, I'll boost you. I can boost you up. Send a hand to offer to boost you up.
How far away is it?
It's about 3.5, 4 feet. It's the sort of thing that you're kind of.
Okay.
It's about just under your shoulder height, so you can just kind of like,
Yeah.
scrabble
I
your
think
way
I'm
on if
okay.
you need to. Your hands can almost reach the other side of where the hinge is.
I think I'm okay. You know that thing I did when I touched that battery? Oh, what or the light? Whatever. Remind me what it was, Miguel.
It was a generator,
Oh.
a large generator, which actually is not far away.
I'm sorry, Green. It's nothing personal. You saw what happened with the generator thing. I don't. Sorry. I don't want to accidentally hurt. That's why I pushed you away earlier too. It's sorry.
Green is like just impassively just standing there. Green is like nothing.
Yeah. Good talk. And then I jump. All right, that's a yeah. I would good talk, and then I jump. And that'll be 16.
Okay, with the 16, you are very easily able to make the jump. So green boosts Billy up. You take Yadwiga's hand, and it's almost not even a jump.
That was my reaction to the
Just
gravity,
kind of,
not to the
just kind of
crazy jump.
it's almost just kind of a step over.
I can't remember what Let's Player played Portal, and literally every time he jumped those four, like just imagining what your stomach is doing in those portal shifts.
Just a moment, I'll be right back. Y'all can discuss your next move for a moment.
I'll be right back in 2 minutes. I'm gonna try to look for my Billy dice. I didn't put them under the moonlight, and they don't believe in Billy.
And then there were two. Yeah, I'm like perplexed as to what move. That was actually a very great idea to pull that lever. So I'm glad we decided to like let you do that.
I figure it was either the lever or one of those buttons. I don't know what the buttons do.
Yeah, that I was kind of wanting to go to the buttons, but I misheard where he said those buttons were. So I'm really glad, because I would have loved to touch those buttons too, just as a, I don't know what this is gonna do, but we're already in a shitty place, so we might as well just figure it out.
All right, let's start poking shit. What we can't get much worse.
Exactly.
Alrighty, sorry, I had to give the boys some guidance on the acoustic wall he's building for me.
No worries.
So
Tess left to go find her dice.
Okay. So Green, you're still down on the crystalline column. You can very easily just kind of
Billy dice.
climb your way up and stand on top of it, and for your longer limbs, it's an easy step over for you.
Okay, cool.
Green steps over as well. There's room for all of you in that one little thing. There you go.
Okay. Or not.
Did that make it worse? Oh, there you go. So you have a couple of options. There is this little projection over here that's about 7 feet over your head that you could jump up to from the previous one, or you can follow the bridge around. You can't exactly see where it goes, but because
I say let's not. Oh, go ahead.
I say I could lift someone overhead to the thing above us.
But then how do you get up? Rope, I guess.
Jump
Uh,
and luck.
I think in this case, actually jumping and falling would benefit him because we're trying to go higher. So, I mean, if he did misstep, is that really a bad plan?
I mean, we don't know what part of this area that he's gonna fall out of. I just think it's what a. I mean, this looks like an easy, and I think Billy starts walking over to the bridge to the left. This looks like an easy step over here. We might as well see what's on this side before we make our decision.
You had to say easy step. You just had to fucking go there.
So Billy steps over to this end, and it is indeed there's only maybe a foot gap. That doesn't happen.
Billy's dead.
That does not. So it is indeed only like maybe a little maybe a gap of maybe 8 to 12 inches between the two.
So I can fully just step onto it, 1 foot on
Step
each.
over.
Yep.
Then I'm going for it.
You step over to it, and it is indeed the same material as the bridge you were on. It's as if the two chunks were part of the same reality. But you notice
Right.
you notice that the angles on this one are substantially different. It's like a much smaller slice of the bridge got preserved than the one on this side.
Okay.
But it is a dark gray textured stone of some kind, but the texture is so fine that you almost can't see it, and it almost looks like obsidian of some kind.
Interesting. It's the same kind of platform over here, just a smaller chunk. And I go to that the curve in the bridge, and see if I can see what's beyond that.
Okay. As you get over there, you see that the hinge over here is the same kind as the one that's over by where Yadwiga and Green are standing, and it appears to be the same thing. They're just about the same height as well. So it's like a large piece of something was captured and transported here, or discarded here rather.
I relay that to the group. And what can I see? Remind me where progress is: north, south, east, west, up, down, left, right. Where is where we haven't been, and where's where we have as well.
You have been down over here.
Okay.
You're working on getting up. Which direction? Getting up here.
You point your finger at where here is.
Up there.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's several other parts of the spiral, and it curls back in on itself.
Okay. So I see this gray thing to the left of me.
Yes, yes, there's a gray thing, but that's about a 20-foot jump there. Down below, you're able to see what appears to be some sort of large energy channeling device. It's right on the edge of your perception bubble, about that 60 feet that you can see. So you just kind of see this thing rising up out of the mist, and it kind of has this energy pulse that runs across it.
I'd imagine I could feel that a little bit. There's about a 20-foot jump to another platform from here. There's stuff below, but with gravity being inconsistent, who knows what jumping down will do. You want to take a look? And I think I moved to the right, towards like closer to the blue.
Are the others going to join you over there,
Yes.
or do
Give
y'all
them the
want
option of looking.
to try going somewhere else? That's kind of a plan
well,
view of where you are now.
I suggest, Yadwiga, you seem agile enough. Perhaps if I boosted you to this section up above us, we could always bring you right back down again.
Did we ever think that the possibility of the buttons would move the other hinge?
It is possible.
It's about 20 feet away now, and I look at the hinges and I kind of relay, like, if it went to like 20 degrees south, there's a possibility that we could do this or whatever.
Let me see if
Anybody have a bow or a sling, a rock?
I want to try to see if I have something in my bag of holding. Or not holding, sorry, we don't have that bag.
I am staying in a bow.
If there was something that had been in the bag of holding that Carl had been holding on to, or that Johnny had been holding on to, rather, then you certainly could have split up anything out of that loot pile that you would have wanted to keep, because that would have been an equal split of the loot before everybody split up.
Okay, so I want to grab I'm gonna grab my dagger and I'm going to wrap it around the rope. I'm gonna wrap it around the rope as tightly and firmly as I can, and I'm gonna try to use that to hit the buttons from where I'm at.
Wrap
the rope around.
You're gonna tie your dagger to the end of the rope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can certainly do that. You have the rope. This climbing rope is not really that well suited, but I'll say that you probably have a. I'll allow you to have 50 foot of a smaller, like, trick line, something that a rogue would have, that a rogue and an assassin would carry with them, would be a small chunk of rope to fashion a trap or something like that. So you have a small line that you can tie off to the dagger, and yeah, that's only about an 18-foot throw. So for a dagger, that's going to be short range. Which button would you like to hit?
There was a blue button and a red button, correct?
There are
two
two
purple
blue
and a clear.
buttons, or there are two purple buttons and a clear button.
I'm going to get on kind of my hands and knees and hold on to the bridge that I'm on.
Yeah, that would have been something to definitely warn Billy about.
Yes.
I'm gonna push the purple button closest to me.
So would that be the left purple button or the right purple button? The
right.
The left purple button is the one that's aligned with that is aligned more with the clear button.
Oh, okay. Then the left purple button.
The left purple button. Okay. So you roll to hit. It's a super precise shot too.
And do I add my proficiency bonus to this?
Yes, it's as if you're just making a regular to hit roll.
Okay, so 17 is what I rolled.
Nice.
Well, with the added bonuses.
So 17.
Right,
So
that's
Yadwiga
yeah.
draws back and throws her dagger. The balance is affected a little bit by the rope that's attached to it, and and you hear a loud metallic whine as it bounces off the left of the two purple buttons. It it begins to glow, and it begins to glow on its own. Your dagger just kind of goes and and then and then and then falls down past it.
I'm gonna quickly reel it back in, ever so gently, so that I don't lose it.
Okay, you pull it back. It's pretty easy. What it resists by its weight a little bit at first, but once it get eek,
The sky is falling.
it it resists a little bit at first, but once it once it comes away, or once it breaks the plane, it gets like halfway back towards you. It suddenly starts falling towards you, and you're able to snag it out of the air. It's kind of weird because you're kind of reeling it in, but it's over your head.
Okay, got it. And it didn't do anything, did it? The button?
You heard a metallic whine, and that was it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it again and hit the clear button this next time.
Okay, roll to hit.
If you had a nat 1, it ricochets and slices Billy's carotid artery.
13. I hit it. I got a 13.
You certainly do.
Terrible.
You hit it, and the clear button lights up. As this happens, you hear the metallic whine continue, and Billy, the section that you're on, you happen to be right next to the hinge, and it pivots all the way around.
And we're stranded again. Wonderful.
Well, something worked.
And it is
but
now.
I don't know how anybody gets here.
And it is now stepping distance over to this next platform.
Huh.
Now, do I see any buttons from where I'm at?
You do not. You look up. Looking up, you can see. You can see up above you, out of the normal sphere of the direction that you can see. But the fact that it is a huge gout of flame shooting out into the air from right here. You see,
Oh.
so you see kind of 90 degrees far out of the normal visual range, but because it's so bright, you can see it out past there. And so there's a really loud, bright source of fire.
Well,
Huh.
I guess I'm going to move ahead to the next platform. Do you think that makes sense? And then maybe you guys can figure out a way to get to the same place. Or use a different route. I don't know. What do you think I should do? Yadwiga?
Yadwiga's not gonna respond because I'm trying to figure out where me and Green have to go to now.
I'm thinking we go up.
But we couldn't make that. So is there any clear path that we can move
We
to?
can make that. It's 7 feet up. It's 7 feet up. I have a strength of 17. You're a gnome. I can fling your ass up there.
If Billy doesn't get a response, she's going to go to the gray platform.
You notice that Yadwiga and Green are out of sight now.
I can't see you anymore. Do I hear them?
No, you do not.
Oh, fuck.
mean, I've been tossed before. It's a little degrading, but
What?
I'm gonna let him toss me. But I want to keep my dagger on to try to use it as a harpoon as
So-
the draw, just in
So
case.
that way you can throw it and snag something and then Indiana
Yes.
Jones your way around stuff.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so you've got there. So there's a variety of things of ways that you can go and other platforms over here. There's also some over here that you haven't that you didn't visit that were on the that are on the original plane that you entered up into right before the curve starts. Um, so you've got this one here, and you can
I'm
just
aiming-
barely see the edge of this one over here, and you can kind of see the edge of the plants and stuff on the edge of the hillside, that chunk that's over here.
I'm aiming for the one that's directly above us.
Okay, so that's only about only about a 5 to 7 foot toss. So if it's on top of you, you're about 7 feet tall. So
Yeah,
so,
literally, I could just like pick her up and lift her to it.
yeah, and you've got long arms as well. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's so yeah you grab Yadwiga, boost her up, and Yadwiga, you're able to reach the top of this the top of this. It looks like some sort of almost like keratin, or some sort of some like a rhinoceros horn or something like that. It's textured, but it feels like it's got the same texture as like a fingernail.
If you'll let
Oh.
me, can I throw something in their direction?
Yeah. I mean, it's out past sight. You can only barely see like the corner
I know. I want to throw a paper airplane
Okay, it will take
on my
you,
notebook.
it'll take you a minute to fold. So you
I
can
folded
you
it
can
in
be doing that
minute.
while you can be doing that while they're working on the on getting up to this area.
Okay. Fuck me. That's a nat 1, and I made a prop.
Well, just because the nat one
Imagine it goes pink.
could be the
Just
throw
like,
of it.
I made a prop,
Sailing past
Yeah.
and disappears in the dark.
Well, it was gonna say, I'm going to keep going. I'm alright. Be careful.
Yadwiga, you get boosted up, and as soon as Green lets you go, the entire side of this plinth begins to collapse down.
Oh no!
So like I'm falling down.
Not quite. It
It's like
collapses.
bending.
It collapses. You grab a hold of it, and as soon as the gravity transfers, your gravity starts pulling you that way. So the whole thing goes and kind of collapses upward.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
I see.
handy.
Okay.
Sorry,
that's
Randy.
handy.
Yeah.
Wait,
was
is that
yeah,
red? Is that Yadwiga? Above me? Or no?
Yes.
Above. Oh, that's Yadwiga?
Yes. So Villy, you throw your paper airplane and you're watching it go, and then you hear off in the distance, and at the end of the, you see Yadwiga come into view right at the edge of your bubble,
Hey!
and she's holding on to this thing like, oh. And Yadwiga, similarly, you're able to as this thing crashes over, you're able to see Villy on the far side, of this bridge, standing right by where the hinge on the far side is. You can Green has also gone out of sight. Green, as you boost Yadwiga up, and the second your hands take away, you just see her go and she recedes off into the darkness. And you see the whole thing that she's on just pivot out of the out into the darkness, and you hear a loud crash.
Are you injured?
Can I hear him?
No, you cannot hear him.
Okay.
Yadwiga, you can hear him though.
Oh, Yadwiga can hear him.
Yadwiga asked.
Yes,
I didn't
Yadwiga
ask.
can hear him,
Okay.
but Villy cannot.
I'm gonna say, I'm okay. Still holding on with my gnomish muscles.
Villy, you can hear Yadwiga.
I threw you a paper airplane to let you know where I was going. I didn't run off.
So Yadwiga, you're hanging by your hands on this thing, and Villy's saying, "I threw you a paper airplane."
I think it missed.
Let me tell you where you could put that paper airplane.
Yadwiga, make a dex save to climb up and rescue yourself.
I got a 15.
You are easily able to climb up onto it, but this thing that you were hanging on to is it now that you climb up onto it, it looks like a giant dragon claw. It is black and made of some of the toughest keratin there is.
You said it was a dragon?
It looks like a dragon claw, a gargantuan dragon claw.
Could I harvest the tip of this dragon claw?
Such a Yadwiga question.
So
You're on a dragon. Can I harvest it?
you climb up on this. You climb up on this. And you're like, this whole mountain's made of snow. Do you know what the street value of this mountain is?
That's exactly where I'm going with this.
But yes,
If
you
I
can.
can't
You can take a couple of minutes and with your dagger you can saw away at it and harvest the tip.
Are you okay?
Well, if this makes me rich, I will be even better.
Yadwiga.
So Yadwiga, there's a platform right over here that you can pretty easily jump to. There's also if you climb down the dragon claw to whatever the base of it is, you could probably get over here to this spot, which appears to be some sort of control platform of some kind.
I can't see your hands. I think you're going above what
sorry.
we can see. That's okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
So
God.
you can
So
very
confusing.
easily climb down the end
In the best way.
down the end of the dragon claw and hop over to this platform right here, which has some sort of looks like some sort of control station on it.
It seems like making progress is the way to go wherever that progress leads us. Is Green all right?
Yeah. Last I saw, he was fine unless he stumbled off of something.
You can hear him, but I
pretty
can't.
good. I think he's fine. I think he's great. I'm gonna move on because I see the control panel. Buttons have been working in our favor, so I'm gonna go see if we can push those buttons over there.
And I'm gonna move to the gray platform that is
Okay.
attached to my platform.
So Green, you're able to hear what Yadwiga is saying, but you are not able to hear what Billy is saying.
I have not fallen yet. So the thing that I lifted Yadwiga onto that swept her away, that has not returned, has it?
No, it has not.
Okay.
You can barely. She's barely on the edge of hearing her. It's pretty plain that she's having a conversation with Villy that you realize that you cannot hear.
Now, I want to, when I'm making my way down the dragon claw, I want to make sure that I'm going so slowly, and that way I notice if this is going to recline back up. So it's my weight that made it shift down first.
Okay. You make your way down you make your way down the claw, and as you get to the end of it, you see that it's actually it's a claw that has been removed and then bolted to a larger mechanism of some kind. That's on a large pivot. At the bottom of it, it's almost like a smooth arch leads down. Let me turn it this way, and perhaps I can get it a little closer. See a little bit better what's going on. This is a very smooth arch that ends in a large bolt that the other side of it has been, by whatever force it is that has carved these bits of reality out of places, is just, sheared off. So there's a space to stand all the way here at the bottom, and then that's about a 2 foot jump. But now that you're getting more accustomed to things, you can tell that it looks like the gravity shifts 90 degrees again from there. But it is a pretty short jump.
So my body would be up, not to the side, correct?
You would be jumping to the side, but then the gravity is going to change so that you would be up like that.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to jump onto that platform.
Make an acrobatics check, please.
I'm nervous. You've been rolling too good.
13.
13. Luckily it's a really short jump, so you're able to jump across. It's not your most graceful jump, but you manage to and you scramble your way to pull yourself and stand up on it. It's one of the weirdest jumps you've ever had to make, but luckily you're pretty well accustomed to it. Green. So you are now standing alone at the pivot of this bridge. Everyone has gone away and left you. You're standing there by yourself.
The claw has not come back down.
No, it has not.
Well,
Can I see green from the platform I'm at?
No. What would you like to do, Green?
Question why I chose this warforged body to inhabit. Terrible idea I had. None of my here. So I can't. So can I even see the thing above me now, or is it like out of sight?
No, it is rotated out of sight.
I have nothing on me. I have no equipment, no gear, nothing. Yeah, I think I'm fucked.
Sorry, so I got cut out a little bit, but you said I could see green from my platform?
No, you can't
No,
see
you
green.
can't.
Okay, but can I see the dragon claw platform right below me?
You see it. It's off to the side. It's just it's a the you can't see the tip of the dragon claw anymore.
I cannot see the tip of the dragon claw.
Nope, the tip of the dragon claw extends right to the edge of your vision. The spot where you nicked the end off.
Oh, I understand. Okay, so I pretty much left him stranded.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Tess left the two of you, and then you left him, and now he's just sitting there going, "They left me. They left me."
It does seem like all these things kind of end up merging in a way that brings us together, but Green is the only one who hasn't seen the effects of that yet. So
I feel like it's doing the opposite. I feel like it's splitting us up on purpose because normally when there's stuff where, there's teamwork to get to certain places, like everyone can get to that platform before we push the
Mhm.
button. So I think it's dividing us almost
it's possible.
intentionally.
It's
But I mean, we
possible that
can't.
it's possible we're just stupid and doing things out of order. I mean, let's not rule that out.
Observe Miguel's expression for truth. And just to clarify, because I don't want things to start moving and me to feel like I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to do some fuckery. Just to clarify, I did mean that Billy moves to, she's here right now. I did mean that she moves to this. I didn't want it to seem like I would be saying that at the last
Yes,
minute.
I clocked
Okay.
you. I clocked you saying that, but I'm also trying to keep everyone going as well.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell to do right now. Actually, I think I'm just gonna until something presents itself. I think it's best that I just wait.
So Green decides to abide there for a minute. Um, Villy. So you are. So Villy steps across the end of the bridge, and steps over to the platform over here. It is a little bit of a jump. It's about 5 feet. Roll an acrobatics check.
I just rolled another nat 1 after my freaking paper airplane nat 1
Oh no!
on my Billy dice.
Roll me another.
Why?
Roll me another 20-sider. Let's see how bad it is.
Okay, that was a 12. I knocked it over, but it was a 12. And what did you say? Dexterity?
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes it a 14.
Okay, so you
If you want a nat 1 to be a nat 1, make it a nat 1.
So you go to jump, and you miss the platform entirely. You go tumbling off as you begin going. You see that there's a couple of black platforms, and you're like, oh, and you pass right between the two of them, and you keep on going. And now it is your turn to take the flight, and you begin.
God damn it!
You turn.
Physics!
You're also kind of turning, and you have nothing to steady yourself on. So you can see with each revolution, you see the spiral platforms receding farther and farther off into the distance.
Yeah, I think after the first second of panic, having seen Green do this same thing Billy does, steal herself, it actually makes more of a point to observe what she's passing as she's falling, knowing that she might pass it again.
Okay. What's interesting is that the background doesn't seem to be changing. The only thing that seems to be moving is the collection of spiral platforms. So the background doesn't turn. Only only the only the spiral. And now that you're getting farther and farther away, you can see the way it kind of curves around in a very in a in a very mathematical fashion.
Ooh, I like math. Or Billy likes math. Tess is about math.
So let's go
but
back
is
to
okay. Yeah, go back.
let's go back. Well, and so Villy is now falling, and no one knows except Villy.
I'm falling. But I
So
think I've got it.
Yadviga, you are on your on your platform, and you're facing you're and you are just about to walk up to the you're just about to walk out to the control platform.
And I can just walk straight over there, correct?
Correct. It's it what you're walking on a on a narrowing platform. It's about 6 feet wide where you jumped onto it, and it narrows out until it's about a foot wide. And there's a couple of steps down, and then there's a chair that has like a little a little desk that swings down in front of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk about halfway, and if I'm halfway, I could see green from where I'm at, correct?
When you get all the way out to the end, you begin to you green start you begin to see a little bit of the glow from Green's arm, but it's almost like there's a lot of fog between you and him because he's right on the very edge of vision. So
Okay, so I'm gonna tie the rope onto that platform. Just tie it around the platform, and
okay,
then toss it down to him, and then continue walking to the control panel.
Green, make a perception check.
25.
So you see Yadviga get you see Yadviga basically right on the very edge of perception, and you see a rope come hurtling at you out of nothing, and it leads up into this kind of foggy area where Yadviga is.
Just to give the rope a test tug, see if it feels secure.
Yeah, it's it's pretty secure.
All right, I will try climbing.
Roll me an athletics check,
Ooh, 22.
please. Nice. Followed by an acrobatics check, please.
Shit, that's not so good. Nat 1 for a total of 3.
Oh boy. Roll 20-sider again. Let's see how bad it is.
Oh shit.
You were doing
Another
so
one.
well.
No! The party
Green
gains a
should-
point of doom.
Green explodes.
Green, you haul yourself up on the rope very strongly, and the rope quickly goes slack as you exit the gravity of where you are, and you begin tumbling randomly, and Yadviga comes into focus. Yadviga, you watch as Green is tumbling past you, and goes and goes past you all the way over here. And Green, you hit this vein here that's sticking out, and it bends. The whole thing bends, and you end up and you end up tumbling and landing on your back on this platform over here.
Sorry, I missed it. Before the point of doom, did you roll 2 nat ones in a row?
Yes.
I did.
Just like I did? Oh my god!
Team Snake Eyes.
So the
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
just yell
Google when the
out.
next full moon is, and I'm gonna put a reminder for everybody to leave our dice out on the highest numbers in the next full moon.
we'll see if it
I'm
works.
gonna yell out to Green, obviously irritated, and say, "Again!"
I am no longer falling.
And you have the rope is now stretched tight between you and Yadwiga as well.
Shall I pull you
So-
to me?
You want to pull me towards you?
Oh, I'm just saying the rope between the control platform where Yadwiga is and that platform where Green landed is now pulled tight. Because that's what allowed him to land there was the fact that he had the rope and he hit the end of it and it just happened to be right there. So he just went going wee smack.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave the rope and just
Should
tell
I-
him like,
Should I
Don't
try to
break
climb
my
to
rope.
you?
"Oh, that's what you said." Okay. If you can do so successfully, yes.
Ah. Hmm.
It would be just an athletics check to climb.
I'll try it. Sure. As long as I don't lose hold of the rope, what could go wrong? You try a different 20-sided. Okay. Yeah, let's try it. What the hell?
He rolled so well it knocked out his connection.
All right, next full moon is next Sunday.
Nat 20
Yes.
Yes!
So
for 23.
so he takes so Green takes the time to carefully hand over hand and climbs his way all the way up to where Yadwiga is. And the two of you are back together again. So
Greetings.
you are both right next to it seems to be a seat that just kind of hangs out into nowhere with a little swing arm that goes in front of it.
What does that do?
The seat seems very large for Yadwiga and kind of small for Green to fit in. And Tess, I think you muted yourself while you were talking.
Oh, I did the opposite of what I wanted to do. I was just saying, see what I mean? I think this place has a bunch of fuckery as far as bringing us apart, but it does eventually bring us back together. But maybe that's just a smart DM who's making sure we don't lose each other.
Smart DM, stupid players.
So, do you want to do anything with the? Do either of you want to do any interaction with the control surface?
I think we should. I'm gonna let Yadwiga do it though.
Yadwiga, would you
She's
like
more
to?
knowledgeable.
She might be busy busy with the traveling right now. Yeah, looks like it. So let's go over to Billy. Billy, you are currently you're currently tumbling. Um, you've been you've been tumbling for good several minutes.
I
And
have been falling.
you see the you see the spiral eventually recede off into the distance, and you look off in what you guess is the other direction, and you see it approaching from the other end, and it is still tumbling in much the same way. Yet you see it having changed in at the same precise angle that had changed before, roughly
I
about
think
eight and a
Billy
half.
almost I think Billy almost forgets to grab it, just pure fascination of these gravity and physics. And he's like, "Oh, that's right, I have to do something." And then tries to grab the spiral as she passes it.
Okay. You've still got you've got a couple minutes. You see
Oh,
the
okay.
spiral approaching.
Oh, I got a couple minutes.
But the last time when it got to this size, you'd been falling for about 7 minutes.
Okay, in that case, I mean, I still have my notebook out. I've had a notebook out since a minute into this fall, and I'm just doing diagrams and physics of, making sure where to land. And can I like roll an intelligence check to like, see where to aim for, see where I'm gonna fall, just to prepare myself for it. Maybe if it's
Yes.
high enough, I get advantage on grabbing it or something.
You can roll either Arcana or Insight.
Arcana. That's gonna be a 22.
22. So
Ooh.
you're sitting there doing frantic math while trying to
While falling in the air.
focusing
I
on
lost the page.
because focusing on your notebook helps you helps you avoid the vertigo of the chaotic motion that you're falling through, as well as the fear of, holy crap, am I going to fall forever?
I don't think Billy's feeling that. I think Billy is too fascinated with science of this, and having seen Green do it, she's like, okay, I trust this.
So
it's science. It's science that I don't understand yet, but it's science.
So you're doing the math, and you realize you have to invent a couple of extra variables. So you're frantically going, oh, what the hell does that mean? Okay, so that ratio is going to be like this and like this, and you're putting the different algorithms together, and you realize that that the angle seems to be changing depending on the departure point. So because you fell off from a part much closer to the heart of the spiral, you notice that your angle of entry, like you remember at the beginning when Green fell, he came in pretty close to the same spot the first time, and then was slightly angling with each successive one. The angle at which you are coming in appears to be about 500% of the angle of the angle that Green had fallen in. So
cool.
it almost appears like the closer to the heart of the spiral you are, the weirder math gets.
Cool. But it does seem mathematical. None of it seems random.
It does seem absolutely mathematical.
Tight.
Yadwiga.
Billy says that out loud. Tight. She's never said that before.
So the two of you are at this command chair type thing. It's a chair that just kind of like hangs out into the middle of everything, like Cerebro, but without the desk. It just has one little swing arm. And Green says, Yadwiga can do it.
Is there anything for me to touch, like a button or a lever, or?
You would climb down. You would kind of climb down into the seat, and your feet just kind of like hang off into nothingness. It's kind of like sitting on the end of a dock with like a little swing arm that comes in front of you.
Yeah, let's sit down. We've had a rough couple of days.
You sit down, and the chair is surprisingly comfortable. It's obviously made for someone at least 2 feet taller than you, but you're able to sit in there, and your knees don't even get over the end of it.
Who is that?
You're just kind of like sitting with your ankles hanging off the end of it.
Does this feel familiar?
Not at all.
I'd like to investigate the chair a little bit more to see if I find any hidden compartments um or any buttons and levers.
Roll an investigation check.
Made of fine Corinthian leather.
It was a total of 9.
Yeah, you're reaching around on top of it. The chair surface seems very smooth. It just kind of drops off on either side of the chair too. I mean, you had to climb in from the top and just kind of like slide down into it. There's nothing on either side. You're literally just kind of like poking out into nothingness, except for this swing arm that is the only thing that moves.
So can I swing the arm in the opposite direction that it's in, or
Yes.
whichever way it lets me? I'll go ahead and do that.
So you grab the swing arm and you swing it 90 degrees in front of you, and it swings down, and then it kind of drops down into place. You hear an audible click, and Green, you also see this, that that lights begin running down the length of the swing arm, and projects patterns of light in front of you, and it is an entire control surface that is holographic in front of you that springs up from the swing arm. Around you see an entire globe around you, and you see a diagram of the entire spiral area, with discrete little infographics and arrows that point to each thing, and little numbers that are slowly but inexorably changing next to each of them. And you see one of them, very far away from the others. It shows you a moving a moving one that is slowly approaching the spiral.
So, am I going to assume that that's Villy falling?
Or
You
it could
don't
be
know
the-
that
it could
Billy
be the
is falling
Chronomancer.
right now, but you
It could be
see,
the
Oh.
Chronomancer. Huh? It's
But
possible
you-
the
Right.
Chronomancer has found us.
but you notice that that most of these circles are green or blue, but there are 5 that are red. 2 of which are at the control surface. One of them is the one that's moving. There's one at the very center of the spiral, and there's one and there's one kind of back out towards the about a third of the way down the first flat part of the spiral. Not too far away from where you found Green, actually.
Huh.
Ooh.
Can I click? Is this like I want to touch the screen to see if it's a screen, whatever it is, I want to touch it to see if it's interactive.
It is interactive, as a matter of fact. You reach your hand out, and you can grab the screen and turn and change it and look at it in any dimension that you want. You also notice that when one of your fingers randomly touches one of the green lighted areas, it highlights it and shows and pulls it up and shows it in in exquisite 5-dimensional detail. So you're able to see the crystalline column, and it comes up with there's a bunch of writing and a variety of different things that you can touch that pulls up different information about it.
I'm gonna need to take a little break real quick if that's okay.
Sure, we'll go back to Tess here shortly.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. So Green, you're watching Yadwiga interact with all of this. Do you want to take any action?
Each thing is interactable. There's 2 dots where we're standing, 1 dot away from everyone, 1 dot the center. Wonder what happens. I'm going to try to touch the dot that is well away from everything else. Just touch that dot, see what happens.
You touch that dot, and an immediate graphic of Villy shows up, where you see her kind of she's kind of turning in this kind of weird chaotic motion, and you see her sitting there frantically writing in her notebook.
I wonder, can I, by keeping a finger on her dot, can I direct her travel?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Oh my god.
So you put your finger on her, and Villy, immediately you feel it's like something grabs you, just like, and you realize, and your motion stops, and then you feel a huge sense of motion, like suddenly you're going sideways at immense speed, and then the other sideways at immense speed, and it's like
On the screen, I see Willie vomit. All right.
yeah. Villy, make a dex check, dex save, please.
Okay, save.
Dex save. I just rolled for myself a constitution check to not vomit, and I got a 10. But because in my mind I was thinking constitution, I'm rolling again.
Right? Yeah.
For dexterity, which is a 5.
Oh no. You drop your notebook.
No! No!
Your notebook is now gone.
No. I have so many, but that was my favorite.
I'm gonna see if I can figure out. I'm gonna try to drag that dot, drag her. I assume it's her, over to where we are.
Villy,
I don't know if that's,
you feel yourself
possible.
moving at incredibly high speed, and the spiral begins coming directly at you at an incredible speed.
I think I just naturally just like, put my hands out, brace for impact.
So suddenly, Villy goes
My notebook!
and is hanging in the air in front of the control position.
Greetings.
She goes,
What's happening? Bomb.
Just hanging in the air in front of you.
Put me down! Well, not down! I need solid ground.
I believe I have figured out. One
You
moment.
figured out something, now put me somewhere before I puke again.
I'm gonna try to. Can I figure out? Can I put her on the platform above us?
This one up here?
Yeah, do I have that kind of fine control that I can?
Yeah, you're getting it. You're
Okay.
figuring it out. You're like, okay, and you're going slowly and carefully. And Villy, you rise up, and you are deposited onto.
I lost my notebook.
I apologize.
Thank you.
We're back in the car again. Well, at least we're out of the tree.
Are you injured?
Not physically.
Villy, you see right next to you the tip of what appears to be a gargantuan dragon claw.
Oh my gosh! It was a dragon! It's a dragon claw! Wish I had that. I pull out another notebook. Sadly, it's not my favorite. I don't like the distance between the lines on the pages, and the thickness of the paper isn't ideal.
Green, you're able to look across and you see that this the armature that the dragon claw is connected to reaches up, and it will be very easy for the three of you to rejoin.
Just for funsies.
No.
I see that there's another one of those dots at the very center.
It's
We're
my
here to
notebook.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
We
So-
are.
Were you listening? Because that was fun.
No, I wasn't. I went to go drop off my daughters with my brother
Okay.
really quick.
So
Okay. It's a good thing there's a recording.
to catch you up real quick. While you're examining the control surface and looking around at things, Green reaches up behind you and touches the red dot that was far away from the others and begins moving it around and by manipulating that dot pulls Villy right up next to you.
I dropped my notebook.
Kind of hanging in the air next to you, and then Green places, using the green dot, places her onto the platform above you.
There was 5 dots.
There are 5 dots. Now 3 of them are together, and 2 of them are farther away. One of them is at the center of the spiral, and if the 3 dots are right here, where it begins curling up, one dot is at the center of the spiral, and 1 dot is out here, and then the original entrance is all the way over here.
Touch the dot at the center. Well, I'm going to touch the dot at the center of the spiral and bring it next to us.
Billy clutches the ground.
I was just gonna poke it. You're going all in.
It's the Chronomancer. We need.
If you hold
questions.
on to it, if you touch it, because you would know this because you were right beside Green, but if you just touch it, you can see an animation of who's like in it.
Oh, okay. So, I kind of want to be destructive, though.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
Because essentially, we can just let it go in thin air if it's an enemy. So I don't want to let go of it.
Give
I
me
just
a
want to
second.
bring
I've got to
it.
knock at the door, so y'all decide what you want to do. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I mean, if it's
all I was gonna do was tap on the dot in the middle and see what happens.
because if it is the Chronomancer, at least we can talk to him. And but if it's an enemy, we can let it continually drop over and over again and keep shooting at it or keep like using our powers to kill it while it continually drops.
There is a chance that we bring in something that has more control over this place than we do, though.
There's also the question of what the hell is that below us, behind us.
Yeah.
What was it, the green dot or the blue dot?
We can ask when we get back.
It's the same color dot as we are.
I think that's why Miguel wanted us to go onto that little island. It's the little platform that looked like it was a piece of island. But what if there's like a living creature there?
What if it's Joe?
Oh my gosh. I think Joe would have been here though if it was Joe.
Isn't that Joe? Who's Joe the DM?
Who's what? I'm sorry?
Zoc the DM, the person who's here but not. Oh wait, no, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
dumb.
Miguel.
I'm dumb.
It's okay. It took me a while to figure out that was his character too. I always thought it was
remember
someone else.
It was only because I have it enlarged in a way where I can see the Legos, and then there's a
Yeah.
separate blurred out screen. I was confusing myself because normally Joe is here.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so you guys would rather I don't bring it to us.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna poke on it and just be like, "Hello, ding dong."
You do what your character would do, but you would have seen Green touch it, and then an enlarged version of me just kind of going like this with my notebook in my hands popped up, so he could tell that it was me. But if you think that Yadwiga wouldn't care to look, would just want to bring it closer, then do what
We don't-
Yadwiga would do.
We don't know that that's the Chronomancer. It seems logical,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, because it's at the center.
do we really want to piss this guy off?
Well,
I mean, this is his playground. He runs this joint.
yeah, well, I'm also kind of pissed off that he invited us into this place only for us to be into this puzzle. Like, first of all, terrible hostess. So that's why I'm like pissed at him. Like I'm like when I face him, I want to be a little confrontational with him.
All right.
But I do understand that we are not in a sane environment where we really can do really well combats in here. Like even Villy doesn't have a lot of control of what happens in here with her best ability to save herself or to help us.
Yeah, because I mean, my most powerful things involve twisting dimensions with it, which isn't really safe to do in here.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you'll be twisting us in the same thing. So okay. I heard you guys. I think I'll touch him and move him around to see what it is, but I won't bring him to us.
Okay. So what's the decision?
I'm not gonna be bringing that essence of whoever he is to us, but I am gonna click on the red dot to see if I can make out what he looks like.
You click on the red dot, and it pulls up a graphic of a snake person
Oh,
with a that has a huge hood and is wearing a cloaked robe, but because of the nature of the interface, you're able to see under the robe as well. So it's a large Yuan-Ti snake person.
so that's the Chronomancer, correct? Based on what we've seen already of him.
It would certainly seem to be the Chronomancer. You see all sorts of infographics and stuff along the side. There's a lengthy index of what appears to be some sort of appearances along a long list that also has several branches. It almost looks like a crystal lattice work or something pops up, and you can see each of you can make an Arcana or an Insight or an Investigation check.
Imagine Billy's like on her stomach with her like holding on to the platform, but looking over at this like, what? It's like an interactive textbook. Damn it.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I got a 16.
15, and I rolled bad. I've got very good Arcana.
Okay.
I rolled
Yadwiga?
a 3. I got a 3.
So
My bonus is like a 4.
Yadwiga, there's so much information that you can't even really concentrate on any one piece.
I am so overwhelmed.
Green, you are as you look at you're looking at the kind of crystalline lattice that appears off to the side at one moment, and it occurs to you that these kind of look like rivers, but rivers that move in 5-dimensional space. And Villy, as you're looking at it, you happen to seize on 3 different names that that just go flashing by. You see the names Stephen Amber. You see
Oh.
the name. You see the name Vishamus Markale, and you see the name Elspeth Markale. Oh, sorry. Make that 4 names. You also see Same Markale.
No, I
and-
do not.
And
How dare you?
the Stephen Amber appears to conjunct in 6 or 7 different places. The Markales seem to intersect in only a couple of them.
That's my family.
I'm not supposed
Keeping
to know.
track of my family.
I'm not supposed to know any of this, right?
Well, I mean, what the others choose to tell you. I mean, Yadwiga, you're just looking at you're looking at the whole thing. You're not focusing on any specific information.
Okay.
I'd imagine that those names fly by and you probably like visually see them but don't recognize them like I would because that's my family and I know that's my family's names.
Right.
But yeah, that's my family. They have my parents and my sister's name on there.
They are connected. As
And
by
there's Stephen
rivers.
Amber. Did you see that, Yadwiga? Stephen Amber.
I'm gonna go directly to where she's pointing at, where it says Stephen Amber.
Make a. This needs to be like a technology check because now you're trying to do a specific task
Sort of intelligence.
on an
Intelligence, yeah.
unfamiliar platform. Yeah.
Sort of intelligence.
Make an int save.
14 plus my bonus for it. We said this was intelligence.
Yes, intelligence.
+1, and I have investigation as my so 15.
15. So it takes you a little bit of manipulation, but you actually manage to find one of the nodes where Stephen Amber interacts with, and you see that, and it says the duration of the interaction was 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
And this is, he's not here. He's not a red or any kind of dot. It's just that he's on this interface.
It's listed on. Stephen Amber is listed as having intersected with the Chronomancer at least 6 or 7 times on what seems to be a listing of the Chronomancer's activities.
I want to click on Stephen Amber's name to see if there's any kind of log or video or audio.
It doesn't have any direct information on Stephen Amber in this.
Okay.
It only lists him as having crossed the path of the Chronomancer.
So the Chronomancers met Stephen Amber.
This
Is that meaningful?
Yes. I'll explain why when we have time. And we see less intersections with the Markels, correct?
Correct. There's only 2 intersections with the Markales.
How many with Same?
With Same, as you click on Same,
I imagine I'm kind of asking Yadwiga to.
It doesn't really show Same, but apparently it doesn't show direct intersections with Same, but you see that the Chronomancer has gone back many times and not interacted with her, but has observed. No less.
Would I gather all of that?
No less than it must be somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 to 700 times.
Oh my god.
So maybe
he's been watching us. Well, not me. He's been watching my family.
we need to ask them, because if they've dealt with the Chronomancer, whether in person or being observed, that means they're dealing with something that involves manipulating time. because of the Chronomancer's obsession with time.
I think I messaged Yadwiga specifically only because I'm worried that the Chronomancer can hear us right now, not because I don't trust Green. I'm just worried that the Chronomancer can hear what we're saying out loud. I say, sorry, I spent so much time describing that, I forgot what I was about to say. Yeah. I think I just explained that to Yadvi. Like, I don't know how much I want to talk about Sume out loud, but you saw that the pyramid was charged by a magical battery of sorts. If Sume is anything like me, what if the Chronomancer has some interest in magical constructs to power this place? I'm afraid that Sume might be in danger. And probably it might be dangerous for me to be here, but I don't know. What I'm saying is that makes me nervous, and I needed to say it, and I was afraid to say it out
loud. Everyone who's looking at the screen, make a perception check.
Oh boy.
Concentration, divination, enchantment, navigation, illusion, necromancy, transmutation. It's a 6. What was the check?
It was perception.
26.
Ooh. Green is watching.
7.
18.
Billy is distracted.
So, Villy is busy looking at all this information on the Chronomancer, while Green and Yadwiga notice that the red dot that indicates the Chronomancer has begun moving.
Oh shit! Says Tess and not Billy, because Billy's like, why is he watching my sister?
Villy's looking at this stream of
I'm looking way too much at the Markel
rivers
stuff
that intersect and flow back toward each other, and
Mhm.
and the rest of you are like
I mean, it would, and I guess I'm just kind of keep going in Yadviga's head. I mean, it would make sense that the Chronomancer had interacted with people as powerful as Elspeth the Seamus, but I think that they'd have some semblance of keep. And you can cut me off at any point.
I'm just gonna cut. Yeah, I was
in your
gonna.
head.
I'm gonna be like, look, and I'm gonna like point it out.
Is this Chronomancer friend or foe?
Yes.
He is friendly in the way that he wants to abduct Villy.
We don't know that. I mean, we can definitely suspect that.
Oh, sorry, going through the mountains.
No, you're fine.
I mean,
that's something you and I talked about suspiciously out of character, but I don't think our character. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I think I brought it up to you last session.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so I think it's more of a strong assumption based on his interests.
Yes.
So we don't know, but I think he'd be friendly enough.
I think he has enough interest in us. Yeah. He has a vested interest in people like me. So I think for purposes of using us, he might be friendly, but depending on how much he wants to use us, that could make him unfriendly. Or them.
Mortals complicate things so much.
We really do.
So I think it's best to keep our guard up, no matter what.
Agreed.
Okay. So are you going to continue to interact with the simulation? What's your next move?
Can we move platforms? Have we tried doing that yet?
I haven't.
Have not tried doing that.
If I were to reach my arm down, how far away would I be up from say, for instance, green's outstretched arm?
Probably a couple feet, maybe.
Okay.
You could jump. I could catch you.
I could jump down, but your platform is quite small, is it not?
Yes.
Is it so small that we'd be having to roll dexterity? I mean, obviously, I'm thinking about this in the more realistic sense. Is it so small that we'll need to actively try to balance on it, or can I safely go down there without rolling the dice, as it were?
I'm pretty big. Yadwiga's in the seat right now. The
This is more
platform
of a
itself
DM
is-
question. If he's
Yeah.
gonna make us
Yeah.
like, essentially, if you're gonna make us roll dexterity checks just to exist on the same platform, like if it's that small, then I probably wouldn't.
The acrobatics checks happen under two conditions. If it's more than an easy step over, and
Mhm.
if there is complex gravity involved.
Okay.
Because you can step things that are on the same plane, you can step across pretty easily. But if you're
Yeah.
but if you're having to step across onto a different if you're having to if you're like
What
stepping
I'm
onto a
saying,
wall.
okay, what I'm saying is it big enough that we can all safely exist on this platform?
You can all safely stand on it at the same time. As far
Okay.
as you jumping down and being able to land on it, that's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because it starts out about 6 feet wide, but narrows to about a foot. So
Okay.
so it gets pretty narrow pretty quick. So you'd have to be able to drop down and on exactly the spot that you want to drop down onto. Um, Green can certainly help you down as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But also you two are all but your these two platforms are also in the same plane of gravity, as well as the same plane of gravity with with the the mountainside that's below you.
Okay.
That
So
you
I
can
think I'm
that
gonna
you can
stand
see from
up.
here.
I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna kind of motion for Green to maybe step back so that I'm essentially gonna aim to jump down and land on my feet in front of him. But should that go wrong, hopefully he'd be able to grab me.
We are also gonna go back into your direction, though.
That's a hell of a long fall. You could actually hurt yourself. It's safer if you just jump and let me catch you.
I mean,
Set
that's
you down.
essentially what I'm doing, but just jumping in front. I'm
So-
an elf. I've jumped down from trees
So you
that
can
I
see
was
that.
hiding in to read my books.
So you can see that going up past Villy, the distances between platforms become significantly greater.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it is possible to get back over to the it's possible to get back over to the areas the same route that you had gone through before from the mountain chalet from the mountainside area. So you can try going you can go either way, or you can go back directly back over to the bridge as well, using rope and complex gravity.
Do we want to do we want to try to speak to the Chronomancer or try to get to the Chronomancer, bring the Chronomancer to us? What do we want to do? I'm not exactly thinking logically right now. To be honest, I'm just scared.
I think I'm gonna move a platform first,
Okay.
and then we'll decide. I want to see if the platform with the drawbridge and the hinge that Green originally moved with the lever, I want to see if I can move it back to its original place.
You can select it. However, you can.
Yes, I would like.
You take some time to select it, and you're trying to manipulate it, but you're having difficulty finding finding the right button, and you have difficulty at getting it to move. that doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means you're having difficulty finding the right control to do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna hop out of the seat and I'm gonna explain to Green what I was doing and say, I think you would know a little bit more about this, hopefully. And then explain to him what I was trying to do to see if any of the platforms are movable from this interface, so that he can sit down and have at it.
You wish.
Yadwiga gets out of the driver's seat, has to take a step back, or probably could climb underneath Green with his long with his long legs. And her short stature. It's pretty easy. That's just going to be easier to do it this way. And Villy, you wanted to go ahead and drop down.
Yeah.
Okay, so they exchange places, and then Villy jumps down. Villy, make an acrobatics check, please.
6.
Not
Oh boy.
again. Not like this. Not like this.
So Villy jumps down, doesn't stick the landing, and begins to topple off. Yadwiga, you can make an athletics check to grab her.
Perfect. I was just about to ask. Like, am I close enough to grab her? And
Imagine my
hopefully-
ankle just rolls.
Oh, I am not close enough. 5.
Oh no!
Oh, and I'm already moving into the seat, right? So
Correct. So you're negotiating your movement. Villy, roll another dex check or another acrobatics check.
Please don't drag me with you.
Oh no!
That's another 6.
Another 6. Oh.
4 on the die.
So you fall. So Villy falls all the way down and lands in the swamp.
Oh.
So you are.
At least that.
So
Ugh,
you are
disgusting.
you are knee deep in muck.
My
At least it broke your paw.
The smell of it immediately, now that your face is like right up next to it, it smells heavily of rot and
Ugh.
and just like yucky, nasty, stagnant water and vegetative muck.
I'm an indoor wizard. This is some druid shit.
And right in front of you, as a matter of fact, is a right in front of you. You can see is kind of there's the chunks of this kind of like it kind of looks like an idyllic Swiss mountainside, there's pretty grass, and then there's like a little exposed cliff hillside that has a little bit of a golden grass on it, and then there's a tiny chunk of a river or a stream of some kind that appears to just be flowing, but it's only like maybe a 1 foot by 3 foot strip that's just hanging there, and it leads over onto this rock that there's a red plant sprouting from, and
Point
it
out
just happens to be
my-
like right in front of your face. So
Point out-
your elbow and knee deep in all of this muck, and you happen to look up, and there's this plant.
Point out my Lego for me real quick.
You're behind all this.
Okay.
And this is where that other dot was on the interface, right? The red one?
No, the other dot on the interface was far back that way,
Oh,
where you were
okay.
near, relatively close to where you found green to begin with, but a little bit farther past that. Kind of
I
near
spent a
the.
rune to manifest inscriptions on the Oh wait a minute, that might have been our homebrew version of it from when we were in 1E. Let me double check that it's essentially an identify spell.
Yeah, it's kind of like that rune activates.
Yeah, it's
kind
more of like a see the runes type of thing. It's
yeah,
less of an identify.
it's like a reveal codes type of thing.
Yeah. Instead, I'm gonna take a spell slot and cast identify on the red flower.
Okay.
Can Yadwiga see where she's at?
Where
I'm
Villy is?
okay.
Yes,
I'm
Villy.
sorry?
Villy's right below you.
I'm gonna shout down to her because I see that she's looking at the flower, and I'm gonna say, "Is it valuable?"
I'm trying to find that out, amongst other more significant things.
You cast you cast your identify spell, and you see and it reveals the weird lattices of magic that are around you. You see you see it looks kind of like the weave, like these places have these spots have been cut out of the magical weave, and they just and kind of the edges are just kind of like frayed. You can see the warp and woof of of re, of time space and energy leaking out the sides of these things, both the swamp that you're in, as well as the mountainside chunk in front of you. The plant itself has properties of stabilization, and it's nothing like anything you've ever seen before, but it's almost like it would almost be like putting a ground on a house to prevent it against lightning strikes.
Interesting.
So you got to pluck that.
Yeah, I am taking out.
Pluck it, need it.
I imagine I have a jar of some sort. I take out a jar and can I scoop the flower with whatever's under it, like with the soil, and put it into my jar?
Uh, the flower is pretty large.
Oh, okay.
You'd need like a bell jar sized thing
Okay.
in order to collect the entire plant with some soil.
I return up to Yadwiga. Where's Baker when you need her? How exactly would I transport something like this? I sense that it might be able to help us from the lens of stabilization.
Yadwiga is going to not the cloak that she just purchased, the sand cloak, but underneath, I'd assume, or if I took off the cloak, I'm gonna give her the cloak that I had before I purchased the heat one, and I'm gonna toss it to her and say, just wrap it in that.
Okay.
So that she can wrap the whole flower together and then carry it however she sees fit.
Yadwiga drops a gnome-sized cloak down to you, which is about like a 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot
Human baby blanket size.
Yeah, exactly.
about that. So which is enough to dig out the plant and scoop it up and wrap it all up.
Mhm.
As you are doing so, make a perception check.
I've been rolling that. I trust you. That's a 19. I'm gonna take it.
As you're looking,
It was a little bit cocked. but I'm gonna take it.
you're working, you look over at the rest of the hillside, and you see that there is a larger, more mature version of the plant across the way that actually has one large red fruit coming off of it.
Oh, is it within my reach? Where? Point to it for me.
You're over here, standing in the mud, which of this one section, which is next to it. So your feet are in one biome, and your hands are working on another.
Okay, so the one with the fruit, is that to my left in the little 3 stack of flowers?
So you would
Okay.
so you'd need to climb up onto the mountainside one and then go down over here to harvest it.
I'm going to try to do that.
Okay.
I wonder if this fruit coming out of this version of the flower would be even more effective. I'm going to
So
get it.
you climb up on top. The gravity is slightly different, but it's only just barely. So it doesn't require a check to climb up because it's also right at waist height. So you kind of
At any given time, I have 3 points of contact with everything under me.
yes. So your boots squelch as you pull out of the muck underneath, and every part of you that was touching it is now covered in like black gook. So you can take a second, wipe yourself off,
Gross.
try and
Gross.
get as much of it off of it, but it's still like under your nails, and there's still some bits of it clinging to parts of you. There might have been some got up inside your glove. But you're able to climb up and then over and around and kind of slide down this little bit of a slope here, and you are right next to now right next to the flower, and you can take some time to harvest it. Green, roll a perception check, please, because you're in the driver's seat now, right?
Yes.
While Villy and Yadwiga are doing this, you've got a couple rounds of action that you can do before we get to where Villy is.
I got a 12 on that.
Okay. What are you trying to do? Anything specific, or?
Yadwiga mentioned wanting to try to move a platform closer to us. I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay.
If I wonder if maybe instead of manipulating the platform directly, I need to manipulate that lever or those buttons. Can I manipulate the lever or the buttons through this interface?
Yes.
See, this is why I gave it over to you. See, I knew it. You would figure it out.
By clicking
But
on.
I'm wondering as well, for later, if we were all on the same platform, that platform with the computer on it, if we could just bring that platform somewhere else with all of us on it.
But yes, by clicking on the green or the blue button or a light circle that indicates the lever, you are able to toggle its state and interact with it. The same with the button platform as well.
I wonder how mind blowing this is to all of us who have never in our life seen a computer. Like,
it's the wackiest magic ever.
Do you want to manipulate any specific one? I imagine were you going after the buttons here or the lever there?
I'll start with the lever.
Okay, so you're able to pull up the lever and by grabbing it and twisting it, you're able to toggle its state, and the hinge of the bridge moves down again. You hear off in the distance. You hear a horrible grinding sound as well.
Oh.
And you see that, and everyone can roll a perception check because it's within view of all of you.
I trust you.
15.
11.
14.
11.
So with the 16 got it. You notice that the buttons over here, the clear button begins flashing red, and the left purple button begins flashing intermittently.
I'm sure that means something.
Billy's just staring at the fruit, remembering how hungry she is after throwing up 4 times.
So,
Horrible tasting.
Billy, as you're about to harvest the fruit, and Yadviga, you've just dropped the cloak down, and Billy's packaged it up and then gone over to get towards the fruit when when uh when Green presses this button and you hear off in the distance, and you realize that whatever the source of the noise was, because of how far away it was, it must have been incredibly loud for you to have heard it here, because you didn't because it happened at the same time as you saw the bridge moving off in the distance, but you notice on the control panel that the other half of the bridge was trying to, because it had already been moved away separate from the other one, so it was trying to go into a state that it was already in, and the hinge on that side is now wrecked.
I broke it. What's the Chronomancer's dot doing?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh no!
The Chronomancer's dot has moved over to has
Behind you.
the platform that the Chronomancer was on is kind of like a throne-like chair with a long ramp that leads up to it. He has gone to the end. The Chronomancer has gone to the end of that ramp and is now is now appears to be getting ready to cross across to another platform.
I wonder what would happen if I grabbed him and moved him.
I wonder what would happen if you grabbed the platform he was going to and moved it right out from under him.
That seems mean. I don't bear him any ill will. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
I was thinking of it as more of like we may be smarter than you think we are.
This is where I'm gonna have to jump off. We just got to our destination now.
Okay, well, hope you all have fun, and
Thank you.
and we'll see I'll we'll have Yadviga on autopilot.
Okay, perfect. Okay, see you guys later.
Have fun.
Take it easy.
That's a great thing about recording too. You can go back and make sure
Yep.
Exactly.
you know what happens.
Exactly. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Okay, give me 1 second to resize the window
I have a dog.
because it looks slightly
She's
different
very
now
cute.
with only 4 spaces.
Oh, it's a yawn.
It's
That's a
fun
Sleepy
night.
Holland right there.
Then is a sleepy Holland Basil Grace.
Okay,
Buggy, buggy.
we are resized. Awesome. So yes. So yes, you see the Chronomancer has moved over down its ramp and is apparently regarding a certain platform in front of it. I can give you a view of it real quick because you have
Way the hell up there.
yes.
Mm.
So the Chronomancer's throne is right there. Oh, it's upside down. Crap.
Oop.
Make it. It made it in. It made it in the test footage. Sorry about this. Yes. So. Almost got it. This is not so fun. There we go. So
As someone who does it
the throne
very-
area is here.
normally doesn't like I prefer theater of the mind. This is some really, really cool shit. And I can't imagine doing this battle without this.
Oh, fuck, no way.
Thing without this.
Yeah. So this right here, just for reference, this is the bridge because we're upside down from the way you were looking at it before. So this is the bridge. This is the side of the bridge with the wrecked hinge right here, stuck in the up
Okay.
position now. So
That's the one where I was at.
so yes.
Right.
So he's actually not very far away from you.
But Billy doesn't know that.
As you can kind of see. So that's you guys.
Eat the
That's
fruit.
the Chronomancer.
Eat the fruit.
So you are out of visual range of each other just because of the 60-foot limitation. But yeah, they're the Chronomancer is not that far away. And Billy is down here harvesting the fruit. So Green, you have control of the board.
Chronomancer is on his way down.
Wonder if there's
I
a way
don't
to
know.
communicate with him through the thing. If he's not already just aware of
Well, see,
what
that was my
we're
initial
saying and what
thought.
we're doing in his domain.
My initial thought was tap on it and be like, like maybe.
Coming in.
This thing on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Attention, Kmart shoppers.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We've called to ask you about your car's extended warranty.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do aside from just wait. I guess this seems like a good, advantageous place to be in front of these controls. So I'm going to advise Yadwiga of what I see. I can't see Villy at all. Like I'm not off this. Like if I look up from around the screen, I can't see her with my own eyes. Can I?
If you lean over and look over the side of the chair, you can see her below you.
I'd imagine she's narrating everything she's doing.
The Chronomancer is quite near you.
Near me?
Yes.
How close?
The Chronomancer is actually up above you. You're closer to the Chronomancer than Villy is.
Oh. Okay. Never mind. Strike that. Sorry.
What?
Rewind. Take it back. Take it back. Sorry. Player error. Player error.
Yeah, Villy is down here right now harvesting the fruit. You are able to see that the chunk that Villy is standing on comes from a very specific valley on some main planet somewhere. But it seems like all of these chunks of places all come from the same planet or the same realm, the same place of existence, the same celestial body.
Perhaps at different times.
Do you want to investigate the interface to mess with the interface a little bit to see if you can find deeper layers of information or anything like that?
Sure. See what I can figure out. My intelligence is not great, but
That's what you got me for. As if Green said that aloud.
okay. So it's like an intelligence save kind of thing, or
You can make it an investigation check. We'll call it you're messing around with the interface, saying, "What is this button?"
okay. So that's plus nothing. 10. Exactly.
With a 10, you are by clicking an option that is in a third submenu below the top menu of information about the individualized chunk, you suddenly stumble on
Mind blowing.
a pop-up screen pops up with it, and it has a spherical projection, and you see little arrows pointing to different spots on the sphere, and each of them are slightly color coded and numbered, and you realize that each of those numbers corresponds to a different chunk that is here.
Everything all right up there?
Some of them blue, most of them green.
Yes.
Billy, you finish harvesting the fruit, and you see, and when you look up, you can see the holographic globe that is projected around the control chair, and you see that, and from there you can see that Green is looking at something in particular.
I think I package away the fruit as carefully as I can, but I kind of maybe I package it up like hobo style, put it in there and then just bring the corners together, tie a knot or something, and then I'm gonna tie that around my belt. And I think I'm gonna climb back on top of that gold thing and be like, "Do you think you can drop me off back up with you?"
I can try. Yeah,
You
I'll try.
succeed.
I'll try. Try to identify which dot is Billy, and then do the finger drag thing again.
Okay, uh, roll me.
Oh boy.
Roll me a dex check, just like a straight dexterity check.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Total of
Ah!
22.
This was primarily just to see how much control you'd figured out about it. So the few moments that you've been manipulating this, it's starting to make more sense to you, and you're getting a lot more control over it. So you're able to select Billy and nice and perfectly gently lift her up and deposit her back behind you.
Does he, because that nat 20, does he have proficiency with the computer now?
He's gaining more proficiency. But you
Can't knock the hustle.
you definitely got the you definitely have were able to very easily move Billy over with you. Also, with your nat 20, you see that the Chronomancer has moved again. The Chronomancer has gone back to the throne.
At this point, Billy is over your shoulder. What's happening?
Chronomancer has gone back to the throne. Back to his throne.
Wonder if his throne has a database much like this one.
Perhaps.
Should we eat this? And I just hold out the fruit.
I do not eat.
That's what I was thinking. But with an identify spell, I did figure out that it has properties of stabilization. I don't know how much we need it now that we figured this place out.
Perhaps with stabilization, perhaps you would be better able to use your own dimensional magics.
That would be amazing, and I immediately take a bite.
Roll a Constitution save.
Fine.
Nice knowing you.
All right. For my sister, Summit. That's a 19. Yeah, 19. 19 plus whatever. What kind of check? What is it? Constitution?
That's just a
I'm a
con
sorcerer.
save.
That is my shit.
Yeah.
So that is a 25.
25. So you take a
sorcerer, get a high constitution.
you take
That's our thing. sorcerers have proficiency in Constitution saving throws.
I thought it
You
was
take a
charisma.
bite,
Okay.
and you can, and it's almost like you feel wild magic seeping out of you, like it's neutralizing wild magic. As you chew, it's not really sweet, it's not really tart, but it's kind of like halfway between the two, kind of like a kind of kind of like kind of like a washed out peach, like a
Interesting.
peach that's had too much water put into it by the growing process.
Mhm.
It's very watery. It's very the flesh is not is doesn't have a very nice texture. It's just kind of like like texture wise, it's kind of like a tomato, where it's just kind of like falls apart as you chew on it.
Mhm.
Um,
Need some mozzarella.
and you feel a kind of like a spreading chill through your body that passes quickly. Um, and and everything around you suddenly seems to feel almost not incorporeal, but like insubstantial, like you're looking down at the platform underneath you, and it's like you almost feel like you would like it's not actually there. It feels like you're it, everything seems kind of intangible to you.
In a sense that it can be easily manipulated.
Green, as you are watching the display as she eats the fruit, you notice that her dot goes from red to orange, and begins kind of like a you know, like little carrots start pointing directly to it,
Oh shit.
and it and
You have
almost like and a little pop up next to it says anomaly detected, anomaly detected.
Oh no.
you have changed color and are pulsing,
I look at my hands. What?
and you are an anomaly.
I knew that. And jokes aside, I look over his shoulder at the computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you see it too, and it says anomaly detected on the side of it.
Is the Chronomancer reacting to this? Is he moving again?
The Chronomancer has stopped moving, and now appears to be furiously doing something at its throne.
Oh, shit's going down. Shit.
As you watch, you see
I think I.
you see it's almost as if the area around the Chronomancer begins to shift, and almost like it's like almost like a gravity well is starting to be created. You see the that section of the spiral seems to begin to deepen, and almost like a almost like it's pulling away from everything else, or like the spiral is becoming longer in a dimension that is 90 degrees from you, so that you can't really see the difference, but you can sense that something is happening.
I don't want to agitate him, but I think it's about time you speak to this Chronomancer if you can figure out a way to do it through this interaction.
I could attempt to bring him to us.
Do me a favor. Bring him up. Put the finger on him. And I'm going to say something that I think might get his attention. Or their attention. I wasn't
Okay.
quite sure of the gender of it.
So you're going to select the Chronomancer, and
Yep. I'm just going to hold my finger on him.
you hold the finger on him, and 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 you see him stop. It stops for a second, and then you
Oh,
see him
no.
continue whatever he's doing.
Okay, But when he holds his finger on him, I think I'm just gonna say, I see you've also crossed paths with Steve and Amber. I just want to see if there's a reaction to that.
Roll an insight check.
Okay. And if I feel an opening for it, I might want to reach into something magical, maybe like reaching into Arcana to, I don't know, cast a message through this, or if there's an opportunity for that kind of thing. That is a, what'd you say, insight?
Yes.
15. Oh, wait, no, 14 on the die. I believe I have proficiency, but that my wisdom is low. Double check.
The Chronomancer's that's enough.
19.
The Chronomancer's behavior does not change after your
Okay.
statement. You're not sure it hurt you.
I don't think he heard me. So, back to what
Shall
you
I
were
attempt?
saying. We could bring him to us.
That seems to be the best way to make contact. I believe he is trying to run away right now.
Really?
That is lengthening. He seems agitated.
Interesting.
As you
And
walk,
I think I
Yeah,
offer
I
the
know.
fruit to Yadwiga and see if she wants to take a bite.
Yadwiga looks at it and looks back at you and goes, "What's this gonna do? What did it do to you?"
It makes me feel like everything here is ethereal. Like, I don't know if that means it could be easily manipulated. It doesn't feel like it was a bad thing.
She reaches
Feels
out.
like it
She
helped.
reaches out and pokes you and says, "You do seem more solid in a way."
It might be something that has more effect on people that could otherwise have more magical control here if it wasn't so unpredictable. But if you wanted to try it,
She says,
feel
"Sure."
free to. And I think
She takes a bite. She makes her Constitution save, and Green, you're looking at the panel and you notice that Yadviga's dot also turns orange and begins.
that was another reason I wanted
begins
to offer
up.
her to try it, so there'd be 2 targets. I forgot to mention. I was going to mention it, like, hey, it might be safer if there's 2 targets. Now it seems like I was trying to trick her.
As you do, as you notice this, all of a sudden, the entire control display powers down, and the whole globe around you just kind of winks out of existence.
At least we're in the same place together.
I believe the Chronomancer has disabled our controls.
I'd imagine so. Met? I don't hear anything.
It is exceptionally quiet. Suddenly,
Say that again, Miguel.
it is exceptionally quiet. Suddenly, before there had been a slight humming and like a little slight crystalline tinkling of the projection around you, but now it just seems like preternaturally quiet.
Kind of like that quiet when the AC kicks off.
Yes.
This is eerie.
Should we move?
I don't know. I'd imagine if the Chronomancer did this, he'd be finding his way to us.
Yadviga looks around and says, "Well, this is his realm. Maybe." And as she says maybe, you feel the whole platform feels like it's beginning to shake. The one that you're standing
How close is the one to the left of us?
on. The one with the the one to the right
The
right
black
of
one?
you is the dragon claw one, and
Mhm.
that's about it's about a 5 foot jump. As you're looking at each other like, oh, what's happening? What's happening? You almost feel like a sickening wrench, and like the world starts turning sideways, and the world begins spinning in a spiral around you.
While our gravity stays the same.
As the whole platform begins to turn and changes direction and
Oh
begins to float up. And it comes to a stop, and you are facing this ramp.
Ah.
And you're facing the ramp with the Chronomancer at the far end.
We see him now.
Oh yeah. The air has completely changed and cleared. And so this whole area, as the platform is spinning through the space, and kind of like it seems like it's sliding around the spiral, um, and turns and makes a couple of loops, and then comes to rest with the and when reality comes to rest, you're facing directly the Chronomancer, and and the Chronomancer's be able to do this. I don't think it's.
You can do it.
So you're facing the Chronomancer's throne, which is this is a side view. So there's this projection that comes off of the top. The Chronomancer's throne is almost like a place that he can plug in. Uh,
Like you can plug yourself into it?
yeah, like a very much like a Borg regeneration chamber.
Ew,
So
I
he
love
comes and
it.
stands up into it and puts his arms on top of this thing. And there's
Tess loves it. Billy is here.
there's this large object that comes off the top, and it's a little chevron shape, and it's radiating out little sparks from it.
Knit?
The Chronomancer
Why?
the Chronomancer looks at you and hisses.
You have entered my realm. Why do you interfere, Daughter of Time?
Couldn't understand any of that.
You have entered my realm. Why do you interfere, Daughter of Time?
Why do you interfere with the Markells?
The Markells are of no consequence. They are a means to an end.
Means to an end? What do you mean by that?
Your ceramic pet has sabotaged my creation. Do you understand what your meddling has cost me?
Tell us.
I am not ceramic.
I attempt to correct the time stream. I am trying to bring resolution to the problem that you have wrought by changing the trajectory of Charles Amber. You have destroyed everything I have worked for thousands of years.
Look, I'm not under the impression that we didn't break something by what we did, but we prevented apocalypse. We prevented genocide.
You have induced apocalypse. You have brought ruin upon this plane and all others.
It's really hard for me to take you seriously. I keep imagining Yzma from Emperor's New Groove. Help me fix it. If I'm Daughter of Time and there's something to be fixed, help me fix it. I'm not here to work against you.
The only way to repair the destruction you have wrought is to eliminate you and all the other temporal accessions.
Temporal accessions?
All of you who are out of time and space.
The people who I performed the ritual with?
All of you have broken time and space, and the only way to repair this is by destroying you all.
The Chronomancer settles back, and the sparks around the chevron begin increasing in power, brightness, and extent. They begin extending farther away from it, as if he's increasing power on something.
I hate to do this, but it's 10 after 3, and I need to get going.
Okay, we'll put a pin in it here, and we will be off next week, so our next chance to play will be October 16th.
Put your dice under the full moon on Saturday night.
So we'll be in touch in the message to check everyone's availability, but we are definitely off next weekend.
All right, sounds good.
Great, thank you all very much. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for playing, and